Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
You might think this is a strange show. It's called I Fly Anything. This episode was originally broadcast on January 30th, 1951, and it ran from November 29, 1950 until July of 1951. It stars singing star Dick Haymes. Haymes, primarily known as a singer, this was his debut as far as a straight dramatic role. It, of course, also stars Georgia Ellis as his secretary, but it also stars a fellow by the name of Buzz, played by George Fenneman. And yeah, we very rarely hear Fenneman in an acting role, but we'll hear that today. I Fly Anything, entitled Date with Death, as it was originally broadcast January 30th, 1951.
I Fly Anything, starring Dick Haymes as air cargo pilot Captain Dockery Crane.
Cargo 91743 to LaGuardia Tower. Requesting landing instructions, please. Over.
LaGuardia to 91743. You're number 2 to land. Visibility 7 miles. Wind northwest 290 degrees, 20 miles. Altimeter setting 025. You'll be clear to land on runway 21. Is that you, Crane?
That's me, Dockery Crane.
What are you bringing into our fair city this time, Crane? Cabbages, kings, or crumb bums?
No, you're wrong all the way, Buster. I'm bringing in a dent in my rudder, a dram of drugs, and a date with death. You know me, I fly anything.
Transcribed, the American Broadcasting Company presents Dick Haymes as a fast-moving, hard-hitting, romantic air cargo pilot, Captain Dockery Crane in I Fly Anything.
My name is Dockery Crane, and my business is the Wild Blue Yonder business, the pickup and delivery business by air. You get yourself a crew, a hangar, a secretary, a teletype machine, a certificate from the CAB, and a great big pile of hope, and your motto is anything, anywhere, anytime, I fly anything. I wasn't putting on a rover boy act when I told the tower I had a date with death. I would have preferred a date with a lively redhead. Who wouldn't? Except the guy already married to a redhead. But time was running out, and death is one date you shouldn't keep waiting around too long. Hey, June. June answered, will you?
Dockery, can't you see I'm busy? Where's Buzz, for heaven's sake?
Well, he's checking the loading. Oh, come on, June. I got to finish his flight plan. Well, step on it, will you?
Hello. Oh, yes, sir. Just a moment. Dockery, it's Mr. Vandermeer from the International Health Organization. He wants to know how soon we're taking off.
20 minutes, as soon as we're loaded.
20 minutes, sir. Yes, I'll tell him. He'll meet you at the plane, Doc.
Well, I've got no room for him. This is an overseas flight. Look, I got a crew of 7, you and the cargo. I'm only flying a DC-4, not a trolley car.
Take it easy, Lindbergh. He's only coming down to give you your official instructions.
Oh, that's better.
And besides, who said there was any difference between a DC-4 and a trolley car? Except a pair of wings.
You can say that again, June. At least a trolley car collects nickels and dimes for every trip it makes. We wouldn't even make that much for this hop.
Hey, I thought we were all real happy to get a load that was important for once, and the heck with the dough.
Yeah, the heck with the dough. That's the story of my life. Oh, the truth is, baby, this darn flight is so important, it's got me a little scared. Whether I can pull it off or not.
I guess when so many lives depend on you, it does scare a guy a little, huh?
A little. Look, June, I haven't been so scared since the time my mother caught me with a cookie jar. That's where my father kept his money. Is the cargo aboard, Buzz?
Check.
How about the crew? Board?
Where's June, Dockery?
Filling a thermos bottle. She likes her coffee over the ocean. She's queer that way. Hey, you seen Vandermeer of the International Health Organization? He's supposed to be here for the takeoff.
Now, hold your horses, baby. Here he comes now.
Hello, Captain Crane. Hello, Mr. Simpson.
We're ready, Mr. Vandermeer.
Stuff's aboard, sir.
Good. Here are your official papers, Captain. Dr. Hernando Carrillo is in charge overseas, and we'll turn the cargo over to him. I don't have to tell you how serious your mission is.
I think we know, Mr. Vandermeer. Full cargo of chloromycetin isn't for laughs. I mean, there's a typhoid epidemic.
Luckily, it's still restricted to the island of Bajorca. If it spreads to the Spanish mainland, it'd be a catastrophe. How long will the flight take you?
Well, if June doesn't take all night getting that coffee, we should get to Lisbon, Portugal in the morning. Refuel, and then it's just a short hop to the island of Bajorca.
Well, here's the coffee. What are we waiting for?
You. What'd you have to do? Go to Brazil for it? Up you go, lady.
First stop, Lisbon. Come on, Mr. Vandermeer.
Yes.
I'm going up front, Doc. So long, Mr. Vandermeer.
Goodbye, you two. Have a good flight.
Well, is there anything else, Mr. Vandermeer?
No, Crane. No farewell speeches. Just get there. It's important.
Don't worry about it. If there's any way to set a plane down on Bajorca, you know me. Anywhere, anytime. I fly anything. I keep telling myself. Emergency Flight 91743 USA. Emergency Flight USA calling Lisbon, Portugal. Approaching at 4,000 feet from northwest. Landing instructions, please. Over.
Lisbon to emergency flight. Lisbon to emergency flight. Come in, USA. Come in.
Landing instructions, please. Requesting landing instructions. Over.
This is Lisbon. This is Lisbon. Storm warning. Storm warning. Clearing field for you. Prepare for emergency landing. Rain squall, prepare for emergency landing. Lisbon Tower. This is Air France, Flight 3. I'm in trouble. Can't see you. Lost the phone. Over.
Lisbon Tower to Air France, Flight 3. Fly east at 3,000. We will give you compass reading in 5 minutes.
Say, listen, are you the guy who says I can't take off at Bajorca?
Capitan Crane, can't you see what's happening? You almost didn't make the landing yourself. The
No.
wind has risen. 2 planes overturned right here on the field. Emergency calls are coming in from all over the area. I cannot let you pull out of here for Bajorca. You'll never make it.
Look, what do you think this is? A $5 an hour sightseeing bus I'm flying? There's an epidemic on Bajorca. My plane is loaded with chloromycetin. Those people are dying.
You don't have to lecture me. I know people are dying on Bajorca. My own mother and father live on that island. Your crew is willing to take the risk?
Yes.
Just pray the emergency landing lights are still working on Bajorca, Capitan. Good luck.
How long has he been circling overhead, Bianca?
Almost 10 minutes now, Dr. Carrillo.
A young man with courage, that Captain Crane. He should have stayed in Lisbon until after the storm. It's madness for him to try landing here in Bajorca.
Oh, if only they can get the landing lights working in time. It's pitch black.
Bianca, those 2 men coming this way, do you know them?
Those 2 men? No, Dr. Carrillo.
Excuse me, I know you are waiting for the plane, but are you Dr. Carrillo?
Yes.
Oh, I am so glad, Doctor. We heard you were coming to the island.
What can I do for you?
My friend here, his wife, she has come down with typhoid fever.
How long ago?
Several hours. He brought her down here in his car. We heard you were...
Take me to your car. Bianca, when Captain Crane lands, tell him I'll be back in a moment.
All right.
This way, Dr. Carrillo. That black car over there.
The
name is Dr. Carrillo now. Carrillo, do you understand?
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, I smashed the wheel. It may be Ed.
Captain Crane, are you all right?
Not even a scratch. Are you Dr. Carrillo?
Yes, I am Dr. Carrillo. We're happy you made it safely, Captain Crane. Happier than you can imagine.
Dick Haymes as Dockery Crane, I Fly Anything, from January 30th, 1951 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater family, you know our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by just creating the best pillow. He created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me because, you know, I'm working like 67 hours a day. Now, Mike's offering the best deal on his Giza Dreams bed sheets ever. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. You'll never want to sleep on anything else once you slept on a set of Giza Dream sheets. A special offer for you right now. You can get a set of Giza sheets for as low as $29.98. Call 1-800-928-4715. Use the promo code Wyatt. Or go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Wyatt. It's good on anything on the website. That number again, 1-800-928-4715. Use my promo code Wyatt. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Singing star Dick Haymes, a serious acting role. I Fly Anything. January 30th, 1951, A Date with Death.
Good and hot. That's the way I like coffee.
And now I'm sure you both want to get some sleep. Besides, the funicular is already loaded and it's being held for myself and Bianca here. I do not like to keep the funicular waiting too long.
The funicular. Haven't you ever heard of it?
Oh, sure. There's an Italian song we used to sing when we were kids. Funicula, funiculi.
Yeah. What's that got to do with
Very simply. A funicular is a little car or bus suspended from wires. That's the only way to get up to the village on top of the mountain.
Well, what do you know? I think we had better go now. Captain Crane, I wish we could thank you in some way.
Well, there is something.
Yes?
I'd like to ride up in the funicular with you. I want to take a look at what's happening up in the village. I'd hate to go back without at least one look at the sick people.
Of course you must come up and see the hospital.
But, Dr. Carrillo, you have not forgotten the poor man we have to take up to the hospital with us.
What happened to the guy? Typhoid?
No. It was an accident. Badly burned. He is all bandaged up and waiting in that car you saw outside. But first, Captain Crane, I must inoculate you against the fever. And then we will all go up together.
Well, Buzz went back to the ship, and I to the trolley on wires. The ride in the long black car to the funicular wasn't much fun. The guy in the bandages right up to his nose must have been unconscious. But once we got inside the funicular, I took a second look at Bianca. Funny. Somebody must have heard me say I'd prefer a date with a redhead instead of with death. But I hit the jackpot, because here I was sitting next to a redhead and heading up the mountain to a whole village of death.
You have never ridden in a funicular, Capitan?
No. Certainly not with anyone like you. The closest I ever got to a funicular was a ride on the chute-de-chutes in a place called Coney Island.
You know, they tell me American men are very aggressive, Capitan. Is that true?
Well, first let me ask you a question. Are you related in any way to Dr. Carrillo?
Related?
Well, I mean, are you his wife, sister, sweetheart, cousin, maybe?
No. Just as assistant.
In that case, how aggressive do you like your American men, Bianca?
I think you have answered my question. You don't have to. Dr. Carrillo, the man in the bandages.
Go on with your conversation with Captain Crane. I will tend to our friend in the bandages.
The minute we reached the chateau being used for a hospital, I forgot about Bianca. Forgot about being tired, forgot about everything except how glad I was that a couple of guys named the Wright brothers had invented airplanes and that a guy like me had learned to fly one. And the fellow who made me feel that way especially was a male nurse. The only professional in the place until Dr. Carrillo walked in.
Dr. Carrillo, Bianca, you don't know how glad I am to see you, how badly you are needed here. And you You must be Captain Crane.
Yes, I am.
Captain, do you have any idea what typhoid fever does to people? The way it races to a town like fire, like a terrible fire. And you brought help. Chloromycetin, at risk to yourself. Every one of these people would remember you, Captain.
Carl, some of the chloromycetin was sent up here the moment the plane had landed. You have given injections?
Yes, Dr. Carrillo. The moment it arrived. Most of them have had some care. Most of them are asleep.
I see. And now, Carl, tell me about my daughter.
I'm afraid she's not too well, Dr. Carrillo. The fever is high.
Your daughter, Dr. Carrillo?
This morning, after working without sleep all night, she came down.
I would like to see her, Carl.
Here she is, Doctor.
Her chart, Carl. Fever. Pulse. I see.
She had a shot of the new chloromycetin just a little while ago.
Yes, of course.
Shall I wake her, Dr. Carrillo?
No. Let her sleep. The poor child needs all she can get. There, you see? We have awakened her.
Dr. Carrillo, she...
Dr. Carrillo? My father. Where are you, Father?
Right here, dear. Right here beside you.
Oh, no. No, you are not my father. Father, where are you?
There. You are feverish, dear.
I'm afraid. Please, someone. Please.
Dolores, try to control yourself. Of course, this is your father. Would I lie to you?
No. You are Bianca?
Yes.
Bianca, I know you. But him? He's not my father.
Dolores, Carl tells me your fever has risen. Now, you be a good girl. I will give you a sedative. You'll get your sleep.
No, I won't let you. You are an impostor.
Dolores, it is all right. If you don't want your father to give you a sedative,
Please, somebody. My father, he was supposed to meet an airplane from America. Yes, that is it. He was supposed to meet a Captain Crane. What did you do with him?
Dolores, I'm Dockery Crane. Dolores, this is your father. He met me at the field. Those people wouldn't lie to you.
Bianca, I think you'd better show Captain Crane to a room for the night. I will stay here a while with Dolores.
No, please, Captain Crane. Don't leave me.
Captain, I am sorry to expose you to this, but fever is a terrible thing.
Good night, Dolores. You get a good rest, and I'll see you in the morning. I hit the bed and caved in like an empty sack. But I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even shut my eyes. I hadn't even thought of counting sheep when I heard my door opening slowly. I saw the figure come staggering toward me, and for a second I was sure the fever had gotten me. Then I jumped out of bed and caught her just as she was about to keel over.
Captain Crane.
Dolores, you're a sick girl. What are you doing here?
Captain Crane.
Here, let me put this blanket around you.
Captain Crane, don't say a word. I don't have much time, and you must believe me. The man you met is not my father. There is something wrong. I know I'm ill, but please believe me. Ask him my mother's maiden name. Ask him where she was born. That will prove I'm right. If he is my father, he would know my mother's maiden name and where she was born. Please.
All right, Dolores. I will. But now you must get back to bed. You're sick.
My mother's name was Ibanez. She was born in Geneva. Ask him.
But why? Why should anyone want to impersonate your father? For what?
The drugs. Maybe for the drugs. I don't know. I can't tell you, but everything here since the war, everything here has different value. Chloromycetin brings a great price on the black market. Maybe.
But what would they have done with your father? What you're saying is true. Where's your father, your real father?
I was hoping you might know. Maybe they hurt him. Maybe they brought him here as prisoner.
The man in the bandages.
Oh, what man? Captain Crane, what man in bandages?
Dolores.
Oh, Captain Crane.
Thank heavens I found you, darling. Captain Crane, you should have called me immediately. In a case like this, overexertion might be very serious. Bianca, take her back.
Come on, dear. I'll help you back to your bed.
Yes. Yes, I will go now.
Dr. Carrillo?
Yes, Crane.
Doctor, this whole thing, I'm not used to being so close to an epidemic.
Would you like a sedative, Crane? It would put you to sleep.
That wasn't what I had in mind. Dr. Carrillo, Dolores asked me to put some questions to you. I think I owe it to her, sick as she is. I hope you don't take offense.
Yeah, I'm used to feverish patients, Crane.
Doctor, what was your wife's maiden name?
Her maiden name was Ibanet, and she was born in Geneva. And I loved her very much. You know, Crane, if you don't get some rest, you might suddenly come down with typhoid.
I stood there in the middle of my empty room feeling like a jackass who just tried to pass himself off as a racehorse at Hialeah.
Gotta admit, it's not a horrible program, but not a tremendous standout. Dick Haymes starring in I Fly Anything. And by the way, Ellis and George Fenneman in this episode. January 30th, 1951. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of I Fly Anything, starring Dick Haymes. January 30th, 1951, date with death.
Nobody likes to be taken for a sucker, least of all yours truly. And Dolores had kicked my pride right in the seat of its pants. She'd said something about the chloromycetin in the black market. She'd hinted that I'd gone to all this trouble just to be played for a patsy. I couldn't take that idea beating my brains out all the way back to the States. I opened the door to the hallway slowly and shut it fast. Maybe I was wrong, but I could have sworn Carl had ducked behind a statue in the hall the minute he saw my door opening. There was a ledge about a foot wide outside my window. It'd probably lead to another window down the building. I knew I'd have to take the ledge if I wanted to check Dolores' story. If I wanted to find the man in the bandages, the man who might be the real Dr. Carrillo. I'd gotten off the ledge into the main room of the place without being seen. There was nobody around except typhoid patients. Most of them were asleep. Some were moaning. At the back of the building was a narrow staircase, probably used by the servants in the chateau a long time ago. I was about halfway up, my head on a level with the upstairs floor when I stopped. Bianca and Carl had just come out of one of the rooms.
What do you think, Bianca?
I don't like it. But if that's the way it has to be, well...
How will we get rid of him?
Have him buried with the rest of the epidemic victims. The bodies are quarantined. Nobody will know.
As soon as they were gone, I got to the door of the room they just left. It was dark. Pitch black. The shades were drawn. I don't think I'd have seen him except for the white bandages. Who are you? I've got to find out who you are.
Go away. Please, leave me alone.
Look, whoever you are, you've got to listen to me. I'm Dockery Crane. I'm Captain Crane. I flew the ship in tonight with a chloromycetin.
You're lying. You're a thief and the murderer of sick people like the others. Go away.
Please, please. This is to help you. You've got to tell me. Are you Dr. Carrillo?
Am I Dr. Carrillo? I don't know myself any longer. Tell me, am I Dr. Carrillo?
Look, I'll prove to you I'm not lying. Dolores came to me earlier. She tried to make me believe that something was wrong. That the man posing as Dr. Carrillo wasn't her father. Now, is that...
Hey, you fool. Can't you see what they've done? They lied to me about the sick woman in the car. And then
you are the real Dr. Carrillo.
Yes. What have they done to Dolores? What have they done to her?
I'll help her whatever way I can. I promise you that.
Think that Bianca and Carl, my own assistants, to think that they would do this just for money, to rob the sick for their own profit. What lost souls.
How, Dr. Carrillo? How are they doing this? What does it have to do with the chloromycetin? Look, I almost killed myself and 7 other men flying the stuff in here.
Carl is supposed to prepare the drug. Instead, they steal it and sell it.
Listen to me, Dr. Carrillo. My friends are down at the landing field. I have a crew of 7 men. I'll get to them and then...
Crane, did you not learn as a child not to disobey doctor's orders?
Why, you
I warned you that if you did not get some rest, you might come down with typhoid. And I'm afraid that I was right. Carl, give me a hand, quick.
When I came to, it wasn't the bump on my head that bothered me. I had bumps before. It was the fever and chills running through me and the spot on my arm where the phony doctor must have injected me with typhoid germs instead of antitoxin. By the sounds around me, I could tell I was on the main floor, but in a room by myself. I got out of bed and fell flat on my face, but somehow I made it to the door. Nobody around. Maybe they hadn't expected me to come to so fast. I sized up the big room full of fever patients and picked out a big guy who didn't look as sick as the rest. Are you asleep? No. Fever, I can't sleep. Look at me. Do you recognize my face?
Of course. I will always remember it. Earlier tonight when you came in with Dr. Carrillo, you are the American pilot. Thank you.
I don't have much time. I need your help. The man I came in with is not Dr. Carrillo.
What?
Don't talk. Listen. He's a black marketeer, stealing the drugs I brought from America. The real Dr. Carrillo is a prisoner upstairs. I need your help. They've given me the fever.
Is this really true?
Yes, I swear it.
But what can we do?
Any one of us alone doesn't stand a chance. But if somehow we could spread the word among all the men in this place. We're half dead, but we're also half alive.
My wife, she is from the village. She is a cleaning woman here.
Yeah.
When she stops by my bed, I will have her spread the truth.
Yes, my husband told me, and the American told him. Spread the word.
Pedro's wife, yes. The American told them. Spread the word.
You're lost. I know you are weak. We are all weak, but together we are stronger than they are. All of us, dear. All of us. Tell the American we're ready.
We are ready. 80, 100. I don't know how many are here. My wife is a good woman. They're waiting for you.
Good. Tell her. Too.
You are very sick.
So is everyone else here. We'll get well together. Not at all. Look, tell your wife. In a half an hour, all of us, everybody, into the main office. Now!
Hey, what is this?
How can you laugh at this?
Bianca! Salvador! The whole hospital!
But I
can't! Please, don't hurt him. We've got him. But don't hurt.
Oh.
June?
Yes, boss.
He's coming too.
What do we got? A payload back?
How about that? Been in a coma for 24 hours, and all that's on his mind is a payload.
June. Buzz.
Hey, relax, sonny boy. It's 24 hours since you stormed the Bastille.
June, what? How?
Yeah, you're half dead, but you want to know, did I get a return payload in Barcelona?
How did you know?
Because I know you well enough to know it's not my great, big, beautiful pair of eyes you're interested in.
Why, June, how could you say a thing like that? You know, I'm always interested in a great, big, beautiful pair of eyes.
Yeah. Well, your dreams are coming true, lover boy. You got a payload back of 12 of the most beautiful pairs of eyes you've ever seen in your life.
No kidding. Man, oh, man. A dozen Spanish dancers, maybe, huh?
A dozen Spanish cows, Captain Crane.
Oh, well, one thing's sure. If we run into bad weather going back, we'll have the best darn milkshakes you've ever seen.
You have been listening to the fifth in a new series starring Dick Haymes as air cargo pilot Dockery Crane in I Fly Anything, with George Fenneman as Buzz and Georgia Ellis as June. And there goes the teletype with next week's cargo load.
Doc, an urgent on the teletype. Man by the name of Brad Barton wants to know if you'll fly up to the timber country of northern Minnesota and pick up a passenger.
A passenger I can pick up on any street corner.
Yes, but for this one, you'll get $15,000.
For $15,000, I'd even be the passenger. Tell him sure. Anything, anytime, anywhere, I fly anything.
I Fly Anything, starring Dick Haymes, was produced by Frank Cooper and Cy Fisher in association with the American Broadcasting Company. The script was by Abe Guinness and Arnold Pearl. Music was composed and conducted by Basil Adlam. This transcribed program was directed by Dwight Hauser. This is Lou Cook speaking.
Singer Dick Haymes and announcer George Fenneman in acting roles, and Georgia Ellis, Miss Kitty, as the secretary. I Fly Anything, January 30th, 1951 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Got to quickly jump into Lum and Abner, January 30th, 1945.
Well, yesterday, in an effort to make himself more attractive to Miss Emmeline, Lum had Mose Mooch, the barber, tint his hair. However, Mose, in his enthusiasm, overdid it, and Lum's hair came out coal black. As we look in on the little community today, we find the old fellows in their jot-em-down store discussing Lum's plight. Listen.
Oh, now, Lum, your hair don't look so bad that way.
Yes, it does, too. Anybody can tell at a glance it's been dyed.
Well, natural. That's what you wanted done, weren't it?
Well, I just wanted it touched up a little bit. I wanted sort of a brownish color like it used to be, not this greenish black.
Well, it don't look green.
It looks like an old, faded blue serge suit.
Well, except when you look at it from a certain angle, it might.
Well, the worst part of it is that it's taken all the wave out of my hair. Look at that there. Straight as a stick. I ordered a lawsuit at Mose Mooch.
Well, maybe you can have it frizzed up again, Lum.
No, I ain't taking that chance. No telling what'd happen if you touched a hot curling iron to my hair.
No.
More likely bust into flames. Or explode and take the top off my head one.
Well, what kind of junk did Mose put on your hair anyway?
I don't know. I wished it was off, I know that. Granny, I can't go around the rest of my life wearing my hat.
Well, not that hat anyway. It's half wore out right now.
The only reason I wanted to get fixed up was on account of Miss Emmeline. Now I can't even see her.
Well, why can't you see her?
Well, not with my hat on, I can't.
Well, if you push it back a little, you can. You don't need to wear it plumb pulled down over your eye that way. You can't see nothing.
I don't mean that. I mean, when you talk to a lady, you're supposed to take your hat off. That's just good manners.
Yes, huh?
Why, sure. Granted, I can't take her nowhere. Church or moving picture show. Can't get around the parlor or the boarding house with her. Can't even meet her on the street.
Why can't you?
Of course, I'd have to tip my hat, and then she'd see my hair.
Oh, doggy, that does cut you down there quite a bit, don't it? Yeah. Of course, now, you could talk to her on the telephone. You can keep your hat on and do that long. They can't see through one of them telephones.
I know that, but the telephone's too public for romance.
Oh.
Party line.
Yeah, and let's see, you could take her walking when it's raining. Doggy, that ought to be a good enough excuse to keep your hat on. You wouldn't want to get your head wet and catch a pneumonia.
Yeah, but that limits a man too much. Can't wait for a rainy day to do your courting.
No. Might strike a dry spell, and then he'd be out of luck, yeah. Well, let's see now. Let me study on this.
I thought about putting a bandage around my head like a fortune teller. But then I don't want people following me around, asking me a bunch of silly questions, want me to look in the middle of their hand.
No, you better not start trying to tell fortunes, or will get yourself into trouble doing that. Let me think now. All right, Dogies, wait a minute. Have you tried paint remover?
Well, that stuff would take the scalp right off with it.
Yeah, that's... Dogies, wait a minute. Maybe that's a idea.
What do you mean, scalp me?
No, I was just thinking, have Mo shave your head, and then you can start all over again and grow a whole head of hair fresh.
Yeah, that'd look fine, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd look like I just got out of the penitentiary or had a terrible accident once.
Well, now wait a minute. All right, Dogies, you're bringing them up. There's an idea right there.
What do you mean, going to the penitentiary? I ain't going to do it.
No.
That right now.
Just a minute. I mean, having a terrible accident to your head.
Abner, you can get the worst ideas of any human I know.
Well, you wouldn't naturally have to have an accident. You could just, tell folks that and that'd give you a good excuse to wrap your head up in some bandages there, and you wouldn't have to tell fortunes neither. That way, nobody could tell what color your hair was. Just put a bandage all over your whole head.
No, that idea's out right now.
Out.
In the first place, it's unhonest. Everybody'd be asking me what happened to my head, and I'd have to keep telling stories about it. No, I ain't going to do that.
Well, wait a minute. I know how we can get around that. We could actually have something happen to your head.
Well, now, wait a minute.
I'll believe a little tap or two with a baseball bat to do the trick. Fact is, I'll be glad to do it for you myself.
Well, that's mighty nice of you, Abner, but I wouldn't think of putting you to all that bother.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be no bother at all. If our friendship don't mean that much to me, then I ain't a friend worth having. I'll be happy to do it for you.
No, thanks, Abner.
Well, I want to, though. I'm always willing to help you out any way I can. I'm your true friend.
Well, that's awful thought of you.
It's no more than a friend and partner ought to do.
Well, that's a beautiful sentiment.
Any time is some little way that I can help you out of your troubles, I'm proud of.
I know.
I'm just more than willing to do it for you.
Well, that's awful sweet of you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see now. Where's that baseball bat?
Abner, for goodness sake, sit down. If anybody gets out that baseball bat, it's going to be me.
Whoa, now, Lum, you can't hit yourself hard enough to do any good. You'd cheat on it.
I ain't aiming to hit myself. But I'm going to whop it. Dad blame it. There comes Grandpappy Spears. I think I'll slip out the back way.
Well, what's the matter? Don't you want to see Grandpappy? You mad at him?
No, but he'll start asking a lot of questions about why I keep my hat on all the time.
Well,
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, wait a minute now, Lum. Grandpap don't care what color your hair is.
See you later. So long.
Yeah, all right. Hurry back, though, now. We got some work to do here in the store. Doggy's run off in the middle of the day. Yeah, howdy. Howdy, Grandpap. Come on in.
Yeah, what do you know, Abner? What do you know?
Oh, not a thing. What do you know, Grandpap?
Oh, nothing. What do you know?
I done told you.
What was it?
Nothing.
Oh. Say, what's the matter with old Lum, anyways?
What's the matter with him?
Yeah, Charity met him on the street this morning. He never tipped his hat to her. Hardly even spoke a word to her. Just went right on by.
Yeah, well,
What's he so uppish about?
I can tell you about that, Grandpa.
You know how polite Lum's always been about tipping his hat to the women folk.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Raised it clean up off his head. Shows all bows and scrapes.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something wrong, Abner.
Yeah, well, Grandpap, I can tell you what it is.
I wouldn't care so much, but you know how sensitive Charity is about these things. Hurt her feeling something wonderful.
Yeah, well, if you'll just give me a chance, Grandpap, I can explain. See, Lum's had his hair dyed black.
Yes, sir, there's something peculiar here. I'd like to know what... Huh? Had his hair dyed?
Yeah, see, he wanted Moe's Moose just to touch it up a little bit so that, well, he'd look younger on account of Miss Emmeline, you know. He's sparking at her now, and he wants to look young, but at Moe's, he dyed it, a whole thing just black as coal, by mistake.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, for pity's sakes.
I hate to laugh about it. Swan, that Lum is the funniest looking one human I ever seen. His hair come out just straight as a stick, and it's plastered right down to his head. He looks like a drowned rat.
Oh, for the Lord, sakes alive. Sakes.
Oh, doggies, he does look comical. He is a sight.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Well, he won't
I'll
let
ask
you
him
see
to take his hat off a minute. Maybe I can fix it before he notices.
No. He won't let you see, Grandpap. He's just embarrassed to death about it. That's why he wears his hat all the time.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe that's how come he never tipped his hat when he seen Charity this morning.
Why, sure, that's the reason. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Well, I'll be a monkey's pigeon-toed uncle. Can he get shut of that stuff some way?
Well, I don't think so. Just has to wear off, I reckon. I had a good idea for him, but Lum wouldn't let me do it. I want to hit him on the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah, that's about the best thing to do with a feller that pulls an idiotic trick like dyeing his hair, too.
Well, no, I mean, Grandpap, see, I'd hit him so hard that he'd have to have his head all wrapped up, and then nobody could see what color his hair was.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Why didn't he want you to do it?
Oh, I think he figured it's just too much to ask of a friend, you know.
Yeah, well, I can see his point of view there. That would be too hard on you, Abner.
Yeah, I think he'd like it better if it's just some sort of an accident. Like, well, for instance, like if one of them, their wash tubs hanging up there fall on his head, or for instance.
Well, wait a minute, Abner. Maybe you can sort of make an accident like that happen.
What do you mean, Grandpap?
Well, get Lum to stand right underneath him about where you're standing, then you can take something like, well, like this yardstick here, and just sort of jug. Better use a water bucket there.
Oh,
don't want to kill him.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you how easy it is. Well, what do you think? Abner, get up off the floor.
Oh, my poor head.
Get up, Abner, and tell me if you think that bucket's heavy enough to do any good. Wait a minute, let me examine you.
My poor head. Oh, me.
No, all you got is just a little teeny bump out of that. It's got to be something heavier. I can see that right now.
Yeah, I reckon it does, Grandpap.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't have to have his head bandaged up for a little bump like that. Be well in a month.
Oh, me.
How about one of them wash tubs hanging up there?
Well, I believe that might be better. I want to do a good job on this for Lum, you know.
By Jiminy, yonder he comes now. Here's your big chance, Abner.
Oh, well, quick, give me that yardstick, Grandpap. You better hide now. He won't come in if he sees you.
Yeah, I'll get on behind the counter here.
Yeah. Yeah, come on in, Lum, old boy. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, is Grandpap gone?
Why, yeah, I believe so. Say, Lum, come over here a minute. I want to show you something.
What do you want to show me?
Oh, something. You have to stand over here to see. Come over
here. I can see anything from here that I can see over there.
No, you can't now. This is an optical collision here. You can't see it from nowhere but right here by me.
Oh, that sounds ridiculous. What kind of a thing is it anyway?
Well, stand over here now. You can see it.
What about it? Here, do you mean?
Well, come on now. A little closer to me. Right over here now. Yeah, that's better. Right there.
Now, where do I look?
Straight ahead. Right out the window there.
I don't see nothing.
You will in a minute.
Oh, my goodness. Abner, speak to me. What happened, Lum?
January 30th, 1945, Lum and Abner. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. ClassicRadio.stream. Thank this station. Support the advertisers. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.